Okay, it's 4:15 by the city clock, so I'd like to start this October meeting of the Revere Conservation Commission. First item on the agenda is roll call. Vincent Loria. Here. Joseph Lavalley. Here. Vincent Camerata.
Here.
Am Raponi.
Here.
James Cervoni. Here. And myself, Andrew DeSantis, Chairman. Nick Malason's absent. Next item is approval of the minutes of September 2nd, 2015. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Voted in the affirmative. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing, notice of intent, Route 1 northbound interchange with Lynn Street drainage improvements, Mass Dot District 4. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Voted in the affirmative. Sandra Sprague from Mass Dot is here to explain the project to us. See if the mic's on. The mic's on. Speaking to the mic if you would, Sandra. Identify yourself and
I'm Sandy Sprague, MassDOT District 4 Environmental Engineer. I'm here before you to talk about drainage issues that are actually in Malden, but the impacts are in Revere. There's a sinkhole on Lynn Street in Malden, and it's because of the backup.
just lift the microphone up a little bit so we can hear a little better.
Is that better?
Yeah, I think so.
So we're here to clean out a drainage ditch in Revere that goes around, through, and underneath Route 1. In green, that's the area that we're going to take care of. It's, I guess, what used to be called Linden Brook. Way back before Route 1 was put in, this was an area that had a brook in it. It's no longer classified that way. But here in the pink is where the sinkhole is. And the pipeline goes underneath that we're going to replace, attaches to a culvert that goes under Lynn Street, drains through, goes back underneath Route 1, and drains back through. And it continues back around underneath Route 1 again and out to Townline Brook. Going to have temporary impacts just to get down through. It's about 3,800 square feet of temporary impacts to BVW. The BVW area is all Phragmites, so it's not a highly regarded resource area that way, but so when we get through, we'll clean it out so you have better drainage throughout the system. EPA has sent a couple emails requesting that we do additional work down there. We can take care of some of them while our construction crews are down there. Some of those additions are the check dams, if you remember, for those that were on the site visit on Saturday. Underneath the bridge, there was a couple rock check dams. If you don't know what a check dam is, it's kind of just a small pile in the stream of rocks, and it helps block the water as it goes through. Well, this is actually backing up the system of water. So we're going to remove some of those. I think I provided some pictures. They're kind of not the greatest pictures, I apologize, but printing them didn't work so well. And we can also, after our site visit on Saturday, we actually went back, Cody and I went back, and we jumped down into the ditch, and we looked at the tide gate. There's a tide gate that runs underneath the bike path, and it's in pretty bad shape. It's a wooden one. It's pretty, so they're going to look when they get out there. If the contractor is comfortable, they're going to clean out a little bit around there, just around that area, just so they have more, whoever's tide gate it is, I think it's DCR's, can get in and look at it some more as we go forward, trying to figure out the whole tide gate system because of the Townline Brook and going through. So we have, I think, there was an emergency cert issued on this on September 25th, so we have to the 25th of this month of October to get in there and do the work, which they are planning on doing. And it was requested that we continue with this NOI at that time when we asked for the emergency cert.
When an emergency certification is issued, they have 30 days to complete the work on an emergency, but if they file a notice as they have, that gives them, well, the 3-year period we typically issue notices for. So I advise Sandy to come to this meeting to get it done in a rapid fashion. If you just want to hold your board up for a second, Sandy, as you're looking at that, that's Route 1 north to south, south on the left, north on the right, crossing crossing Salem Street at that point. And the brook runs from Salem Street across Salem or Lynn Street, because that's the junction right there, and across Route 1 and out to the Seaplane Basin. Nick and Joe were on the site visit along with me. Looking down is going towards Saugus. Looking up is going towards Malden, just so you get an idea of where it is.
I know it's easier this way. It is.
Yeah, now looking up is going towards Saugus, and looking down is going towards Malden, and it's right to left is south to north.
The entire channel is rip-wrapped. It was done, well, this plan is from the 70s, and it was said it was rip-wrapped, so that's the elevation. We don't know exactly how much sediment is in there, so we're going to go down to the rip-wrap layer and remove the amount of sediment.
It's all overgrown with phragmites, as we saw on Saturday. So any questions for
Yep.
Ms. Sprague?
Just to the chair. Where is that floodgate, the tide gate?
The tie gate that, when we were out there, it is, well, it comes down through, you know where the bike path, when we walked along the bike path?
Yep.
It's underneath the bike path. So when we stood there and said, okay, from up here is the channel that we're going through, on the other side of it is a really bad.
This should be the same.
Yeah, it's kind of,
It's right again,
yeah,
send it down.
Yeah,
We have it.
I'm showing where
yeah, it's right there.
Now, you mentioned that, you said there was wood, it's a wooden tide gate?
It is a wooden tie gate, yes it is.
Just a flap?
It's just a flat, and it's in really bad shape. It's like, I actually have a machete up it halfway and get it open up the fragments a little bit just to see what we could get, because we didn't even know there was a tide gate there. So we looked at it just to see, because we weren't gonna commit to cleaning out everything and not knowing what we were getting into, because it's not our tide gate, so we don't wanna damage it at all if we're, and being held responsible. So, we had orders to see what we can do down there. We definitely are gonna remove those rock check dams. And one of the check dams, if you remember, as you walked underneath the bridge, the Phragmites started again. Right there was a wooden check dam. I mean, not a wooden, there was a rock check dam, and the Phragmites had all fallen over, and it was like, it had backed up the water. So we think if we remove those check dams, it will help with flow continuing down. I don't know what we can do with the wooden one. It's not ours right now, but.
Yeah, DCR's been included in the email exchange, so they're aware of it, and I doubt that they're gonna pony up with any resources at this point, but.
Yeah, we just, we're willing to do a little bit and remove and help out that way of at least exposing it so you can see what shape it is or what's there. If they can get in later and do something with it, either remove it or not, I don't know what's gonna help you, or help EPA. Ed wants that, I think, gone, so everything gets flooded with salt water to help get rid of the Phragmites. But at this time, we're here because there's a sinkhole, so we need to move forward with that.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Camerata?
I have just a few questions about, all debris will be removed by use of an excavator? Debris is going to be removed by you people?
The debris, meaning the sediment, the Phragmites, anything that's in the channel itself, we will
Right.
remove it.
Will
Anything.
be removed?
Yes, it's
Very-
off-site, it's
very
hauled
good.
off.
And portions of the check here.
Oh, yeah, that'll be removed.
Anything else? I
One more,
prepared it.
One more, Mr. Chairman. You don't mind, do you? The erosion control barrier will be inspected after every storm event.
That's a typical language we put in, if they're out there for more than one day or a couple days, if there happens to be a storm event in that meantime, and they have to stop work before they start again, they usually check the erosion control to make sure that there's no sediment buildup around it, that they're in good enough shape to continue on.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anything else? I've put together an order of conditions. So we have a motion to close the hearing and issue.
I'll motion to close an issue and just ask that when you're out there, if you could forward some photographs of the tide gate when you expose it and see what it looks like.
Yeah, if we do, we actually have one. I'll get one from Cody that we took when we were down there.
And you're gonna still try to maybe clean it out a little.
We're going to try. I can't promise, only because it becomes a
Do the best
liability
you
issue.
can. Yeah, I understand.
And we don't want to do anything in our, with our contractor, with us. Yeah, we try to stay out of trouble, really.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
And second by Member Ann Raponi. All those in favor signify
Aye.
by saying aye. Any opposed? Voted. I did include in the order, I added a condition, any trees greater than 2 inch. If you're going to need to remove those, you'll have to contact me and I'll come out and take a look at them. And that's not a burden on me because like I told you before, I'm by there twice a day, so.
Okay, yep, and we will let you know when we're out there doing the work. But it's probably going to be in 2 weeks. They have another emergency cert to hit up next week, and then
Okay, great.
it's to be 2 weeks. We're full of them this year.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
I'll get this signed and provided file number, then I can file it on the online filing, and I'll send it off to you once that's done. You're welcome. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing for a notice of intent City of Revere House Sump Pump Removal Program, Inflow Removal Project, extension of new 12-inch drains on Agawam Street and Elk Island Street, including installation of drain manholes, trenching, and paving. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open the hearing.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? So voted. Magdalena, welcome to the October meeting.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. We have filed a notice of intent to install new drains.
Is that mic on, Magdalena? Yep, it's on. Speak into the mic if you would.
So we filed a notice of intent for work within land subject to coastal storm flowage and bordering land subject to flooding for installation of new drains within Agawam Street and Oak Island Road. And this is part of phase 6 of the citywide inflow removal project. And I'm going to hand it over to Sean McPhee, who's a design engineer, and he can go over and explain the project.
What's your last name, Sean?
Sean McPhee, MCFEE. So this house removal project is for inflow, and these specifically sump pumps. I don't know if you guys are aware, but we've already done a contract 1A where we've reached out to over 100 homes and removed sump pump inflow from the sewers. So this is for contract 1B. And specifically, some of these houses, when we remove the inflow from the sump pumps, we can't splash them on the streets because they're all impervious. So we got to find alternate means to redirect this water. And in this case, for Agawam Street and Oak Island Street, we want to extend the existing drains about 100 to 300 feet for each street, so we can connect these sump pumps without risking discharging water on an impervious area and freezing in the winter. That's the main reason we want to do this. So if you see here, this map basically shows all of contract 1A. It's kind of tough because it's a map of Revere, but it has all the houses involved in this project. And then Oak Island Street's right here, and Agawam is right here. But this project itself, it has all the other houses that don't require drainage extensions. But today we're just talking about those two streets. I'm trying to think of anything else either. Basically, yeah, so if you guys have any questions for me about what we're doing, but we're just installing 12-inch ductile and drain And the watershed that we're within isn't changing. We're not collecting water from a different watershed and bringing it into this existing system. All we're doing is extending the drain to get these houses, and so they're not splashing on impervious area. So it's all underground and out of sight.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's all public way.
You want to see the other plan?
Oh, yeah. This is the blow, you guys should have this.
Yeah, that's in the-
This side, this is Oak Island Street. The blue area represents the Revere floodplain. So we are within it. And basically, the existing system we're connecting to is right here. North Shore Road is right here, and this system basically goes into the North Shore Road, which is Mass DOT drainage system. And within the NOI shows calculations that whatever, the water here, the existing pipes here can handle, the same amount of water. And like I said before, we're not taking water from a different watershed and bringing it over. We're just installing drain in the same watershed in the sole purpose so we can get these two houses, sump pumps, directly connected to the drainage system.
Question?
Commissioner
Could you
LaValle?
point out, the extension you're adding is the black line?
Yes, so the green, it's kind of tough to see, but the green is here, that's existing, there's an existing catch basin, and then the extension is on this side here.
And the flow will be going,
Yeah, the flow will be going this way, towards North Shore Road.
what about that little extension that goes down? Is that a street?
This right here,
Yeah, is that both sides of the street there?
this is both sides of the street, basically just having two catch basins on both sides. I believe this whole street is graded equally, it's no crown on the road, so I figured, if we're gonna have a catch basin here, we should have one here as well.
And presently, those two houses just have some pumps that deposit in the street?
No, currently they have some pumps that go into the city sewer.
Can you tell me the location right now?
So these two houses here, you got the existing sewer in the street here, and then they have their sewer service. So the sump pump just goes in their sewer service, and then it goes out to the sewer in the street. So part of the citywide agency program, we want to remove that inflow out of the sewer, so during high rain events, the sewers don't back up, because that's the whole reason we're doing this, the SSO issues.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you.
At
Mr.
one
Chairman?
time, the extra water was considered good. My father's house in Beachmont, the sewer service went out the back, went down to the creek. So he wanted the extra water from the roof leaders
Right.
to keep the line flushed. So we put a sump pump, we connected it to sewer.
Yeah,
When we did it, then I became superintendent of public works and disconnected from sewer and put it outside into the grass. Vinnie?
You may have said this, I didn't hear it, about existing outfalls shall be brought into compliance with standard maximum extent practical? Are you?
You're reading the stormwater development checklist?
Yes.
Yes. So we're not actually doing any work at the existing outfalls. So we're just tying into the existing drains.
Okay. Does that answer my question? I'm still. Well, I probably did say it right. Okay.
Well, the maximum extent practical, what Magdalena may think is practical, what I may think is practical, may you think is practical, what
Okay.
Joe Lavalley thinks is practical, what
All
Vin
right.
Laurier, what Ann Raponi, what James Saboni, may all be different. We may all have different ideas
Right.
as to what's practical.
Catch basins will have deep sumps in the hoods, so that's the improvement we're making.
Right, okay.
Yeah, we'll have 4-foot deep sumps.
Practical also means cost,
Well, yeah, that's right.
You can build anything to be perfect in a perfect world, but there's always a cost in,
Constraint factor. So that's where the maximum extent practicable comes in. The best you can do under the constraints you have.
Yeah, and money's always an easy constraint,
Yeah.
because nobody's got any money.
Yeah, I'll go over Agawam too.
Okay.
So Agawam's very similar situation, so we have 3 houses. And at this point, the flow is going this way. So North Shore Road is over here. This is Sagamore Street, and we're connected to the Sagamore Street system. But the same, same reasons. We have 3 different houses connecting here. These 3 houses currently discharge some pumps into the city sewer. And now we're removing this because you're right, it's drained, because this whole street is, it's not flat, but it's all impervious. So we don't want to discharge water during winter and have freezing issues. So bringing it this way, discharge it to Sagamore Street.
Anything else? I prepared an order of conditions for this project, so I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing and issue.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Voted in the affirmative. There you go, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for your time.
Next item, motion to adjourn.
I will motion.
You have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Voted at 4:35 PM.